Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to Steve Couper's podcast for aspiring real estate investors. In each episode, I try to bring to you industry subject matter experts or other investors that are going to share their tips and tricks and secrets for how things work best. Today, I've got an incredible guest to share with you. She's a chemical engineer by trade, but with an MBA in entrepreneurship, and she's a certified hypnotist. Julie offers a science-backed approach to personal and professional growth. She's a mother of three, most importantly, like I say, a real estate investor. I am so incredibly pleased to introduce Julia Zoger. Julia, welcome. Did I get any of that wrong?
Thank you, Steve. A very great, good introduction. You got it all.
Oh, thank goodness. Oh, thank
I'm
goodness.
very pleased being invited by you, and I will be happy to share my knowledge, my insights, to bring value to your audience and community. Thank
Wonderful.
you.
Hey, so before I forget everybody, I'd like to make sure I remind you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, like the video, and share it with your friends if you feel there's some value that you can share with others. I'd appreciate that. So I had a chance to meet Julia in person, and I was so intrigued by your story and process that I actually have undergone this hypnosis, and I found it quite interesting and refreshing. And I'm so excited about that I actually feel you'd be an awesome guest to introduce to this group. But before we go into understanding my experience, let's talk about you some more. So, can you tell us your story?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity. So, as you mentioned, I mentioned myself and my husband. We invested in real estate about 14 years from now already. And back then, I was, as you mentioned, a chemical engineer by trade. And what people often ask me, like, how did I get being a hypno-coach? And what's the journey from chemical engineer to what I do right now, right?
Mm,
So for me, chemical engineering was a good thing for my ego. I was so happy and proud of myself being a woman in this field, a young engineer, working in the masculine field, let's say, of work. But I was looking for sense of purpose, and I couldn't find it for myself. Working with papers, projects, factories, it's exciting, but the true exchange of energy when you do something and have a feedback right away and you see the results that you can change other people's life, that's it's quite different. It's truly meaningful and it's truly inspiring when you see that, when you can do something and it's, well, somebody's life has changed right in front of your eyes. And I got to this point. I was always excited about psychology since the maybe age of 14, approximately. I was exposed for the first time in my life to the book by Dale Carnegie. And
mm,
since then, my life has been changed dramatically. Like I realized that relationship, communication, people, it's all not what I was thinking about. And I was able to create meaningful relationship, deep relationship, trust. I was given positions in school where the trust of the whole class where was needed, and etc. So it's opened for me a lot of the doors, starting from this book. And I realized that it's fascinating to be able to understand somebody better than they can do it by themselves. On the one hand, it was fascinating. On the other, I was a little bit scared. What if somebody else understand me better than I do? So since then, I was always into self-awareness, learning about myself, learning about who I am, uh, and etc. So this is how the psychology has been always been somewhere there in the background, and the journey of spiritual growth, personal growth always was there. But like I'm talking about this in my courses. I teach my clients. we are not who we think we are. We're just a set of conditioned um, up, how do you say it? Circumstances, let's say. The environment we grow, the family values, the community, the culture, this whatever school teach us, the religion, right? We during the life we accumulate all this perspectives, prisms through which we look into life, and we think that this is who we are. So this is how I was taught, that I had to have an occupation which brings money and has a demand out there. So
Mhm.
this is how I got into engineering.
Yeah.
uh, and but the psychology side, it's always been part of me. And working as an engineer, we had 3 kids, as you mentioned. So those who have kids, you know how busy it is, right? Especially when they are young.
Oh,
So
yeah.
for me, it was pretty much draining because my work was bringing money, wasn't bringing satisfaction. So it wasn't fulfilling me back in terms of my energy, purpose, fulfillment, and different stuff like this. Then coming back home, young kids are demanding in terms of energy, attention, time, everything. So by the end of the day, I felt so drained that I didn't have any time, space, resources for myself. And you know what it means. It's a total loss, it's crash.
Feels like time just zips by that way too, doesn't it?
Right, right. So, and luckily we have maternity leaves as women, and this is a time for us to rethink, recalculate the road, to reflect, to set everything on pause, to think. And my youngest one is 10 years old right now. So exactly, yes. So 10 years ago, this is where I decided that I want to do something with my passion. And coaching work was sounded for me something exciting, something sexy, let's say, because I felt like there's something magic happens around there, and it's in the business world because there's a lot of business coaching, and it felt like the true transformation is happening there, and it's not psychology, something that educational, too much heavy. No, there's actual tools that just make things happen, and I wanted to be part of this. I just wanted to learn this. So during the break of maternity leave, this is where I went and got my certification in coaching. And this word just, I felt in love with this word because I finally found my people who speak my language. And this is the language of deep conversations, of true transformation, the deep relationship and meaningful relationship with yourself first, right? This is about knowing yourself, self-awareness, and personal development. And I thought, oh my goodness, if the whole world will speak this word and everyone will be self-aware that much and will be able to hear and listen to themselves the same way to hear and listen to others, how amazing would be our world, right?
Yes, indeed.
Yes. So, and that's why I wanted to start use my knowledge and tools that I acquired right away. And I did. Even before finishing my certification, I just posted in local group, guys, I'm in this process and I want to train the skills that I just gained and give away to the world. And a lot of people just responded. They were interested like for free to get some coaching. So I got into the practice right away. And since then, I've been always coaching. And my clients, I started from people who were not in career, uh, maybe small business owners. Then I got, no, actually, there are small business owners. Sometimes I had people who were wanted to be coached for the relationship, a partnership. So right now, I have a lot of clients who are executives. I work for the organization who work B2B with other organization, and they have a talent development programs. So, and they are looking for coaches to help their executives to improve their leadership and communication skills. And this is my field where I position myself in executive work. So, and now the range of clients and issues that people come to me is wide. But during these 10 years, I just figured out there is something common for everyone and everything, for any issue, any matter, any challenge, and any sort of client. Everything comes back to the center, to who you truly are, to truly knowing yourself. And I always had in my mind some sort of structure through which I was coaching people. And for me, it's been like an engineering mind, right? I saw the some clarity, some picture. I was structuring each personality into something. And when I finally found my way to the stage and to present my vision, I put it into visual structure. And now I realize, wow, I can teach my clients. I can help them to see themselves the way I see them, like clear. Because when we are in mass, when we are in trouble or in challenge, everything, it feels like the world is crashes on top of us, right? There is like, I don't know where is the exit. I don't know what to do. Everything is just scrambled, right? And through this pattern, I help people to gain the clarity back, to put everything in different segments, because we have a few segments of deep motives. Why do we act certain way? Why do we react certain way? How can we not be reactive but proactive? So the self-awareness and clarity, this is how we gain back the control over ourselves, because this is the only thing that we can control in our life, right? We cannot control external circumstances, neither people, neither cases or challenges that we come to our life. To the certain point we can, and I talk about this, and I'll mention it in a minute. But the only thing that what we truly can control is the way we react to this. So it's been about being present in the morning, in the moment, being aware of what's going on inside, and then mindfully choosing how do I interact with this external thing. And
Sorry,
yes, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think this process and the science about it is truly quite fascinating. We tend to look outward and try and understand what's happening around us a lot more than we focus on what's happening within. I'm curious, from a real estate investor perspective, um, what kind of issues would somebody come to you with and say, "Hey, why would an investor want to seek the assistance of a hypno coach?" And all that you've explained about how this works. I'm curious about how to connect the dots. What is going to happen if somebody comes to you with and wants to have a hypno coach? How is this going to change how they feel in their self-awareness?
Yeah, thank you for this question. So real estate investors, let's bring a few examples. Some might be 100% real estate investors. Some might jump in between their career, maybe full-time job, maybe business, right? And then real estate investment field of their activities, maybe family. Okay, let's say, look at the people who have few things to do. So very often we just lose focus. I have real estate investors who struggle to mingle in between different spheres and to switch their intention, especially right now in a world of so much distraction. Our brain is, just because of these things, right, is trained to be easily distracted. So we all now gain some sort of ADHD, because this is our brain now conditioned to be. So through hypno-coaching and through building self-awareness, we can help clients to gain their focus back, to gain control back. Because talking about the science behind the behavior, and maybe I have to mention, I'm jumping around the topics, but I'll get back to your question.
It's my fault, actually.
No worries. No. It's my mind, like it's just spread around, focus. I'll take to the science and get back to answer the question. So science, because of my scientific mind, I was wondering and curious to understand what's happening at the mind, at the neuron level, at the biochemical level. And what I've learned is that our body, when we say conditioned, so we train our body by thought, creating molecules like hormones, neuropeptides, and other different molecules that transfer to our body and then train ourselves to the certain cocktail of molecules. And when our body used to something, it's just because it became our habit or our true nature. And this is when our body became greater than our mind, right? Now getting back to your questions. When we trained and conditioned our body to jump around the topics, and we cannot bring our focus back, and we know that everything follows attention. So this is why focus is super important. So it means that our body used to this a lot of different agitators, right? It get bored, like, oh, I do some, oh, it's beep, oh, what's going there, oh, I forgot. So it's a demand of the body to have these molecules, because it's used to this, we condition it to have different agitators because it's get bored. So what hypno-coaching can help, it's train your body back to the focus. And it works the same way as building any habits. For the first time, it will require a lot of intentional, aware, mindful work until we truly, like in the gym, train our body to get used to different molecules of the focus.
Okay.
Does it answer the question? Does it
It
connect
does.
the dots?
It does. It actually it brings more questions into my mind. So
Yeah.
if you're a real estate investor, as is near and dear to me, as an investor, what should one expect then? We engage you as a hypno coach, and this is going to allow us more clarity on what we're focusing on, right? And so the end result will be more clarity in your decision making or analysis, or if you're raising capital, or what do we expect out of this? Who comes to you? What results do they have on the other end? I guess that's
Yes. Okay. So yeah, maybe it brings me to the
what are
point
the
there where I can discuss more examples and then the results of
yeah.
the
Yeah,
examples,
I'm just
right?
curious about the problems and what we're solving. That's
Yes,
what I'm
yes.
thinking.
So let's talk about focus. When your attention is focused and you can choose, like right now, jumping around also, when you can intentionally choose what you're focusing on, will it improve your performance and efficiency?
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, um, what are deep-seated motives behind jumping around? For everyone can be different. For somebody, it can be a procrastination or maybe avoider, right?
Okay.
So if you know why you jump around, it will help you even quicker to get into your goals, to narrow focus, to perform things. Because I had clients who had a subconscious pattern of avoiding a tough conversation, avoiding hard tasks, right? And when you just push it away and do not do them, what's happening with the deals, with the opportunities, you might miss on them, right? And if you want to build a trustful relationship with your investors, and what they see, well, the person is not performing, right? So you just lose this trust, you just lose these opportunities on not responding on time, not making due diligence on time. And sometimes we are like, I am talking about different levels of consciousness or self-awareness that we are functioning in. And there is a certain level where we are aware of having some certain pattern. Like, I know that I procrastinate, but I cannot do anything with it, right? Sounds familiar?
Mm-hmm.
When you know that you have some sort of habit or behavior that doesn't serve you in your business, but you do not have tools and understanding where does it come from, and how can you change this. So hypno-coaching here is a help, because hypno-coaching, it's a system that combines of principles of hypnosis and coaching. And I haven't talked about how did I get to the hypnosis,
I know, I
but
just
I
tried.
will talk about this. But talking about the system, coaching, those are principles that help through the conversation discover something that is probably not on your horizon, that you cannot see, something in between the lines, something at the subconscious level. And as a coach, I have a set of tools to understand what is there that you might not see, to work with subconscious
There
through
we
the
are.
conversation. Hypnosis is a tool that help to reprogram at the same level beliefs that they were formed. Sometimes we can be aware of some sort of habit or belief, but we cannot reprogram it at the conscious level because it's a different level of the operation. If it's set at the subconscious, so we have to go to the subconscious and to make a shift there, to reprogram it at the level it has been created. So here is the hypnosis is a tool to help. You can help yourself, because I teach how to do the self-hypnosis, but also it's an external help of mine that I can help you to go to this hypnotic state of mind, and we agree on what suggestions we do insert in your mind and reinforce the beliefs. But it will be custom to specific case of each investor, whatever they struggle with.
So, the hypno coaching is a one-on-one uh, um, service that you provide. Is that correct?
So I offer
Is it one?
programs, and program does have one-on-one, which is the most important part of the program and the most transformative. There is a course, video course, which help us to align the language, to speak the same language. I'm into the education. I truly like my clients to understand what's going on in their body and mind. So we talk it from the two sides, both intellectual, when you intellectually understand what you do, so you are more intentional and there is more progress and efficiency in what you do. And the other one is experiential, through the body. We embody, we train, we talk, we try, we do.
Nice.
And yes, and I have a group and support emails. So there is a system around this.
Love the way this sounds. So, how effective is this? Or is there does it work for everybody? Is there some people that what percentage of success do you find with hypno coaching to solve or address people's problems? I'm just wondering. I mean, some people when you see them on stage, some people can't be hypnotized, but some others can. You mentioned that. So what are you noticing for statistics in this?
So for the coaching, for hypnosis and for hypno coaching,
Hmm.
there are different statistics. we can talk about hypnosis separately, right? This is what was your question, and I can relate to talk to the general hypno-coaching as well. So for the hypnosis, that's true that not everyone can be hypnotized, and the only reason why they can't is just the matter of trust or their internal agreement.
Mm.
So you cannot be hypnotized if you do not want to, or if you do not trust to your hypnotist or whoever takes you through to this journey, right? We have this subconscious mechanism of protection, like you do not get into my inner world, right?
Yeah.
And for the stage hypnosis, when we see like people who go to the stage and do some silly things, right? So it's just they do truly want to be hypnotized. They want to experience this. And sometimes they say to themselves, I want to see if it works on me. But there is a subconscious agreement with themselves that they want to go to the stage and to be hypnotized and to see how it works. So this is the first condition that must be met. That the person who goes under the hypnosis, they agree to this. And the second condition is that the person is suggestible to the voice of the hypnotist. So when the stage hypnotist invite people to the stage, they check those things. The first one, they agree, they want. And the second one, he makes some exercises to check like how they raise, close your eyes, raise your hand, like different tricks where they can see how the person in front of them responds to their suggestions. And he will choose those people who are most probably the best reactive to the voice of the hypnotist. So this is how the hypnosis work. In my work, I do not use stage hypnosis. Like there is no point, as I mentioned. It's only when it comes to reprogramming, when we figure out that there is the belief that doesn't serve you, and you repeat it and you get back to this and it holds you back. So you do not perform the way you want it. You do not get to the results and the vision and the life you want to live. So, okay, then let's rephrase it. And now let's relax your body and mind to the level where you're ready to absorb the suggestions, new suggestions at the level where there's no filter. There is no conscious filter. Whatever you hear goes straight to your subconscious.
Mm.
So the result truly depends on the coachee or hypnotee, the client who goes under hypnosis. In terms of coaching, some people are coachable, some are not. And there are different ways and different approaches and different coaches, and every coach brings to their practice the perspective of who they are, of their own, right? And each one is different. So that's why I do not believe in competition. I truly believe that each coach has their own clients, and my clients are not their clients.
Yeah.
So whoever
It's,
comes to me, they come because they like who I am. They relate to my background. They like the way I talk. They believe in my approach. So there is some pre-conditional trust and sympathy that creates in between, and this is when my clients are open to whatever I do. I do have a challenge when I work with my executives because they do not know me. It's through the system. There is AI between us, right? There's a mechanism that just make a matching, and the maximum what they can see, it's a short, brief description of who I am and what I do, and based on that. So, and with executives, the courses are very short. It's only 5 sessions. So it's very hard to make a meaningful transformation within 5 sessions, especially when you do not have this preconditioned trust and they do not know who you are. So this is where it takes maybe a session or 2 for them to understand who they are working with. And in regards to your question of results, what's the success of, and how do we get to the success? So with the executives, with the 5 sessions, we narrow down to the skill, our goal, because the goal of the program should be so precisely accurate and defined so that we can measure before and after. So with executives, we just narrow down to the skill, one skill that we work on. And if we can tackle with it, like work on this within 3 sessions, perfect. Then we can switch our attention to something else additional. So there is always a shift there. They always start, the point they end, it's different from where they started. Working with real estate investors and business owners, the program that I offer is 10 sessions. It's still a very short program. But I made it in purpose, like not lifelong. Like when you work with a psychologist, right? You can the whole life go to the psychologist, and I don't know, probably you see the results, right? So I'm very result oriented, because we are business people, right? You put an investment, you want to see the result by the end.
Yes.
Here at the beginning of the process, we identify the goal, and we also narrow down. And this is when I can promise that within 10 sessions, you won't be at the same place 100%. There will be shift. Yes. So the more focused our intention, the more chances that we will figure it out.
I love it.
Sometimes it's one on top another, right? I'll bring an example of other client who is a colleague from our real estate investment world. So there is some sort of procrastination and maybe imposter syndrome. And when we talk through, it appears that it sits on top of, there is no vision, or there is no why, there is no purpose. So if you do not see where you want to go, right, where you aim for, so there is no inner motivation to do something. So you need somebody from outside. Okay, do this and do this, but self-motivation, and this is where the imposter syndrome comes, because you're not connected to what's important for you. What are your values? Why do I do this, right?
I think this is answering the question perfectly. This is exactly what I was wondering. So it's a perfect segue, because we're slowly but surely running out of time here. I'd love to understand your vision and goals. I'd love to understand more about what you have in the future. What are you trying to achieve, and how are you going to know when you get there? Tell
Oh,
me
that's a
about
great
your why. Tell me
question.
about, I think we've talked a lot about your why through the course of this last half hour, but what is it, your goal? What are you trying to achieve?
Uh, my ultimate goal is just to have to help as much people as possible. Because by
Nice.
the end of the day, we create a community of mindful, self-aware people who just to increase the frequency of our world. Because if everyone is fulfilled, well, it's too idealistic, right? But the closer we are to ourselves, the more aligned we are with our values and vision and life purpose, the higher frequency each one of us. So we increase this collective, right? The more love and peace will be here on this earth. So, well, I won't be able to do it on my own. So, bringing it to the technical, grounded stuff. For me, it's just now building the systems around my business and bringing a bit more automation. Right now, I still can do one-on-ones and work personally with my clients. Long-term perspective, probably I will have to duplicate myself, maybe to educate some other coaches and teaching them my system, training them, bringing some AI into the surface for the communication with my clients, because for now I manage everything manually, documents, shared documents, but there is a vision of some AI being as mutual platform where we can keep our notes, where we can build this chart of each personality, which will be connected to building habits, to accountability, So it's a long path, but this is the vision. You have to somehow to scale.
Very nice. Very nice. Julia, like I said, we are getting very close to the end of this session. Do you have anything else that we didn't talk about we should bring up?
So I know that this podcast will be released after me having a workshop, which will be on June 1st. But from time to time, I do host workshops where I provide some value and allow my participants to learn a bit about themselves and to learn about their subconscious patterns that manage them. And Steve, you were part of this,
Yes.
right? So we learned a bit about ourselves, we experienced a bit hypnosis. So there is a value of self-awareness and personal growth at workshop that I provide. I also offer there and explain how my one-on-one programs they do work. But as the podcast will be released after, so I will invite your audience just to connect, follow, and see when they can join the next workshop that I'll be hosting. Because it's nice learning out there that I give away a few hours with the group. And also I can offer one-on-one half an hour with me if you have any questions. If you want to a brief session to help you identify what the root of your struggle, where you have to put your attention. Because as I mentioned before, the real estate investor who thought that she has an imposter syndrome and she struggles with lack of motivation, we figure out that she has to build her own vision and her whys, right? So
Okay.
if you need to narrow down what is at the root of your struggle, we can do it within 30 minutes session one-on-one. So I can share the link to my calendar and you can just jump on call whenever you find a mutual convenient time for us.
Oh, that's very generous of you. Thank you very much. So, Julia, when somebody wants to reach you, what's the best means to do so?
Social media, I am everywhere, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. I will share the Calendly link, and also I have a website which is more like a business card just to say I'm here. Those are my contact information.
Okay. I'll make sure we post all of those on the podcast when we're published. Thank you very much, Julia. And back again to everybody out there. Please, if you enjoyed this, make sure you hit like, share it with your friends, and if you're not subscribed, what's up? Okay. Thank you very much for attending
Thank
this,
you. Thank you
everybody.
so much,
Thank
Steve.
you
It
ever
was
so much,
a
Julia.
pleasure to spend this morning with you and very grateful for giving me stage and allow me to share my knowledge with the audience.
It's a true pleasure. A true pleasure.